All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to I'll name this segment later. GTG spits that grease, so on and so forth. Title forever in the works. And ladies and gentlemen, actually, believe it or not, we have a sponsor this particular episode and whatnot, which is cool. I very much appreciate that. Big ups to, let's see here, big ups to Master Sparksy, and the title will be the Snort Symposium. Nice work. Nice work. And actually Sparksy actually has a couple of different suggestions actually now that I see it, so they're all going to make it into future videos. So big ups to you. Big ups to the Snort Symposium. And yet again, if any of you guys have a particular suggestion in mind, please feel free to leave it down in the comment section below. If it makes it in, you know what I'm saying, that's the title for the video of the day. Now, with that being said, let's go ahead and get into our situation. If the title hasn't given me away yet, is DSP poor or broke? I'm actually gonna I'm gonna split it up actually, because initially when I thought about this, I was just gonna put them both together, but I'm actually gonna split it up now. So is DSP poor and or broke? We're gonna tackle the poor part. I think we're gonna do that before we talk about him being broke. Brokey. Is DSP poor? Yes, DSP is poor. DSP is poor in a way that you don't necessarily see with most people who do what he does for a living. Now, to go ahead and reiterate that, DSP begs for a living. That's what he does. DSP manipulates the physically and mentally disabled to give him money and to, in some strange way, vicariously live through him to give them value and to stay with him. That's what DSP does for a living. DSP does not play games. He is not a content creator. He does not stream. He begs for money for a living on multiple platforms to the mentally and physically disabled, or just people that are genuinely stupid, to be honest. So that's what he does. How is DSP poor? DSP is poor because in his pursuit to be recognized, to be acknowledged, to find a place of belonging, he had sacrificed everything. So to speak, he had sacrificed everything to obtain essentially nothing when you really think about it in the grand scheme of things. For example, DSP had a friendship with John and Howard and OJ and most of the guys in the Connecticut crew. The reason why that broke apart is because when he ended up being forced to go to YouTube because he couldn't work a 9-to-5 because daddy's nepotism could only get him so far, he alienated himself around those people and to those people. And for one reason is that he felt that he was far more successful than them. Sorry, he was far more successful than any of them because he made it to, he took 4th place at EVO 2005 and that Neo Geo port of fucking Street Fighter, that PS1 port of Street Fighter. So he already had like a bit of a superiority complex on him because of that. On top of that, he likes to kind of portray himself at times as he was like the young Turk who was out here on these streets, and because he was on his quote unquote fucking Gouty Rock Lee shit, he was putting in all the hard work while everybody else had the genius, they had the bankroll, they had the friends and connections that they could essentially do way more than him because, you know, they had the resources. And that in itself is one of the reasons why DSP is poor, is because he doesn't have any resources. He doesn't have any people that he can really draw upon, so to speak, that can actually produce something to better him, which is the reason why he whores himself out to people like Kino Casino, to Asmongold. He tried to do that to Medicare and Mudahar, Moist Critical, Ethan Ralph for a time. That's why he does that. You know what I'm saying? Fucking A, LTG and Wings, and they all turned him down. That's why he whores himself out. He doesn't bring anything to the table and he knows it. So then he has to try to intimidate. That's funny to say that. Then he tries to intimidate. Then when he can't do that, then he tries to find common ground with you. Now, those guys in Connecticut were willing to deal with that to an extent until T died. And then when Scott died, which matter of fact, now I think about it, I want to tell you that Scott passed away before T did. Yeah, no, it was the other way around. T passed away first because DSP was still in Connecticut when T passed away. And that's when he did that video that ended up getting him fucked over with some of the boys in that brotherhood. And then when Scott passed away, DSP was already in Washington. And when the word went around about that, it fell to John and Howard on who was going to reach out to him. John didn't want to. Howard said, "I'll bite the bullet." He sent them a message just to let him know, like a voicemail or whatever, a text or an email, whatever the case may be. And then he went off. And then DSP did a video like the next day or the day after. So there you go. So that kind of cemented, that literally was the basically the fucking stake in the Gouty coffin, or in the Gouty, in the Gouty coffin on that shit. He's poor because he doesn't understand how to conduct himself. He's poor because he doesn't understand how to move in the world that he's in. Hence the reason why he begs, and why he keeps begging, and why he'll never be able to do anything else. Because he does nothing because he cannot do anything. Because he can't do nothing. That's the reason why. DSP tells you that, oh, he can go out and apply for jobs. Yeah, he can. Doesn't mean that'll get him. And even the ones that he probably could get, he can't keep them. And he knows that. And I know that. And most detractors, trolls, haters, and critics know that. So that wipes that off the board right then and there. So we have to resort to whoring ourselves out to other content creators that we believe we're above. But we need them for some type of reason. And he can't even convince them to really talk to him because they don't want to deal with him, because they know what he's already about. If you're already in a bad situation, it doesn't really make sense to put yourself in a worse one. And that's what DSP is. He's someone who can turn a bad situation into a worse situation. And that in itself, ladies and gentlemen, is just not worth it. So how does that translate from a financial standpoint? A lot of things. It gives him reasons and excuses not to do things. It gives him reasons not to, it gives him justification to tell people don't hold him to set standard that other people are held to, even though he shits on those same people, despite the fact that they're doing far better than him, while theoretically doing less than him, and not having to humiliate themselves at all. So there's that. But then when he gets himself into a situation where he can't afford those things, he makes it sound like he was always at the head of the curve and he just wasn't given the opportunity, which that in itself is just not true. Another reason why he's poor is with the few people that he does have around him, he doesn't understand it's give or take. Yes, people use other people, right? But no one's out to be misused. And he doesn't understand that. That's just something that's not in his vocabulary. The idea of being misused. If DSP looks at it as, if you put yourself in a position to say, hey, Phil, I'll help you, that means he basically bleeds you for everything that you're worth. And some. And then once you can't do anymore, you're discarded. You don't believe me? Ask Brightside Viking, for example. He'll tell you, and whatnot. And he was his sergeant in arms. All these other guys, all these other cucks who ain't came around after the fact trying to think they can fill the power vacuum of Brightside Viking will never do it, because no one has ever been as close as Brightside Viking was. That's just my own personal opinion, but I'm pretty confident that I'm right on that. He doesn't know he doesn't understand, or he doesn't know how to utilize people. He's so surface level with his thought process that it negatively affects everything else that he does, that he's done, does, or will continue to do. It's actually rather fascinating, to be honest with you, for someone to have so little and have so few people around him willing to give him so much, and how quickly he is to squander it. And one of the reasons why for that, because of his poor thinking, is because he believes that there'll always be someone else that will come out of the woodworks. And to his credit, there usually is. Like the current dent of the hour that the writer's room has produced is this guy named, people say his name is Jay, but I'm pretty sure you pronounce it as Ja. Some guy named Ja Hayes or whatever. This dude is out here on the warpath acting like he wants smoke with the tractors, but then he's sitting there like trying to do takedown notices on people. And then with that being said, he went after Ames of all people. If any of you guys follow the RTU troll community, you know who he is. He's not one that you should be tangling with, to be honest with you. Not like that. Especially since he'll just turn it all into content anyway, but that's not really something that he should have been panning with Ames. That's really not the play, especially with who Ames is connected to. But whatever, we'll see how that plays out. But Ja, just yesterday, I guess it was, because I'm recording this on the 17th of March, I missed the Eyes of March, but for me, the whole month of March is the Eyes of March. So that's how we're playing that over here. Anyway, John dropped like, that dude ain't dropped like $600 on DSP. And I think DSP ended the day with like, or he ended the first stream, I think, with like almost $800, something along those lines. So this idiot thinks that he can go ahead and just he'll troll the detractors, trolls, haters, and critics, and he'll invest in DSP to rage bait, and he thinks he'll get the money later. But if you're trying to strike down the very channels that you're trying to get attention from, then how are you going to make any money off of any of this bullshit? If you just if you're trying, and I use that term, trying, to wipe out everybody who could say something against you. That doesn't make a whole lot of sense. But then again, that is DSP. That is DSP's frame of mind too, so a dent following the king of dents only makes sense. So you have that. He doesn't understand how to utilize the people around him. He doesn't know how to utilize the people around him, if you will. He doesn't know how to make content because he's never made content. It was always slop. It was always garbage. It was always regurgitated bullshit. The way DSP does anything is the way he does everything. Quite literally. So there was never any real context to what he was doing. It was just all trash. And he's never really gotten better. Perfect example of that is all he does is he tries to change your mindset on how you look at it. He tries to change the optics on how you view the content to make it seem like it's more than what it is. Perfect example of that is look at what happened after the Kino Casino stimulus package. Look at how he tried to emulate them and he tried to take on their personas and shit. Then when that failed, right, and DSP supposedly pulled his King Snake bullshit, then he sat there and tried to court Asmongold. Then when I honestly think he was surprised that Asmongold responded to him. But then when Asmongold decided to platform him, look at all the money he made off that shit, and then he tried to emulate Asmongold. You know what I mean? The dude doesn't have a personality. He is poor in that way, that he's not even really a person. He's an NPC that tries to copy other individuals to make himself feel like a real person, almost like a gouty Peter Pan. And well, not Peter Pan, more like a gouty Pinocchio. Even though I don't want to say that because I already call him Dark Geppetto for a good reason, so I don't want to call him the fucking snorty the snorty fucking Pinocchio. But I might have to now that I think about it, unless someone comes up with something better, where he's just desperate to be a real boy. He's desperate for people to take him seriously. He's desperate to people to acknowledge him in a way that he feels he should be acknowledged. The reality is people do acknowledge him in the way that he should be acknowledged. You just don't like it, but he knows it's well-deserved, and he does everything in his power to continue to do so. Matter of fact, let's go on a field trip. Let's go on a field trip. I'm gonna go ahead and prove my point on this. Let's go ahead and do this. All right, so give me, actually, no, never mind. We're fine. We're fine. Let's go on a field trip. Let me see if I can go ahead and try to demonstrate this to you. Actually, give me just a second. All right, we're back. Actually, it didn't take long to find it because I kind of knew exactly where it was, but I wanted to make sure and whatnot. There's actually, Burnell has some other examples here, so we'll go with this for now. We'll go for this for now. I'm not logged in, that kind of blows. Anyway, so we're here with Burnell real fast. I'm going to actually jump ahead about 4 minutes, but I do want to point this particular out because I really like these. These are funny and whatnot. Right. DSP, you know what I'm saying, basically the $5 whore that he is and whatnot. 50-cent bitch would have worked too, but probably can't put that up there for ad revenue purposes. I can't fault them on that. Anyway, let's see here. So we're going to jump ahead. Let's see, this is DSP talking about that arcade stick. You know what? We might actually just go ahead and go with that. Yeah, let's go ahead and go along with that. All right, let's play this.
Phil has the pignosis. He mind and brainwashes his viewers into contributing. Make a contribution tonight. Here we go. You ready? Woo! Woo! Okay, I'm indoctrinated. Sounds good. And it's the power of cultish groupthink mentality. I'm a cult leader. I think the pignosis works.
It is called the Turtle Beach Victrix. That's right, Victrix got...
And yet again, I was going to get to that point, but I'll do it now since we're already here. If you have to... socially, if you have to basically manipulate other people to get them to do what you want, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can't ask someone to do something, but you have to manipulate them or maneuver them in some type of way to make shit happen. That in itself is incredibly sad. You know what I mean? The dude doesn't understand how to have real social interactions with people. Everything has to be a lie. Everything has to be misdirection. Everything has to be manipulation. And Is it really winning if you're doing? Wow, there's a guy called Denim Banana. Holy shit, I'm gonna check that out. That sounds hilarious. Are you really winning when you're taking advantage of people who already have less than you, financially, physically, and mentally? Is it really winning? If you're a poor individual, maybe.
Bought out by Turtle Beach, so now they're Turtle Beach Victrix. Pro KO, leverless fight stick, Street Fighter 2 Championship Edition. Yeah, you know, the game I grew up playing. It's kind of right up my alley.
See that? And yet again, another example of being poor. You have to associate yourself. Like, you have to justify things based on what the association is with this. Would he have even thought about even getting this type of arcade stick if it wasn't for this here? No, he wouldn't. This little bit of print here, which he could have bought a regular one and then had someone else go ahead and script this onto that arcade stick of choice. He could have done that and saved himself all of this. But because of this right here, because that's how he based his life, that's what his association in life is. That's all he has to live for. That's what's justifying this $300 purchase.
Okay? Capcom and PlayStation officially licensed for PS4, PS5, PC, hot swappable RGB switches and ergonomic. So to show you this thing, okay? It is sleek, it is slim, it's actually smaller than the one that I have right now. It's actually weighs less and it's sleeker, okay? It has what's called hot...
Yet again, he's the perfect consumer. He'll try to sell the idea of him buying it to other people. Innately. He didn't have to be prompt to do this. He's doing it on his own. Fantastic.
Swappable switches, meaning since there's no levers, these are just pop in, pop out buttons, okay? And you can build your own layout. As you can see, you can remap as much as you want. You can replace the buttons if they die, okay? Millions of...
And also, this whole thing up here with the second bankruptcy, I believe in that too. Because you could tell he's already laying down the foundation to do so. Because he understands how he thinks. He understands what the process is now. And he'll probably even say, when finances get really, 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 really bad, that I might have to go ahead and file for bankruptcy again, just so he can try to convince people to fuck with him, so he can, go ahead and get past the process. I wouldn't doubt that. Yet again, that's poor thinking on his part, but that's innately what he does.
Color combinations. Yes, because basically it's RGB. So you can actually use the app that this thing comes with to actually completely map each button to be different colors. Straight up tism. And as you can see, it has all of these slots, so you can fill every button, or you can plug up certain holes that you don't want to use buttons in.
When's the last time you plugged Cat's hole? I'm not sorry. I'm running with that.
Likely, this would be my layout, what you see right here.
Quite frankly, if you really want to know the truth, I think the people who have midlife crises, people who have a very, very traditional formulaic life, okay? People who...
He really doesn't understand what that statement means. I already know it. You can tell by just how he uses it in context.
Have a job that they absolutely hate, but they're stuck in it because they need to bring in the money to support their family.
That's literally you to a T.
Man, I'm trapped.
That's why he's broke.
In this life, and if I actually wanted to do something different with my life, I can't anymore because of the life decisions that I've made. I'm now stuck in this pattern, and you know what I mean?
Well, yeah, and that yet again another reason why he's poor, because socially he's fucked over every avenue that he's ever had. Even then, and keep in mind though too, because I had to go back and look, and I actually did find some of it. Arturo was in certain circles years ago. This is before his major fallout, and now he's on Twitter/X going crazy on all kinds of bullshit. Anyway, Arturo was in certain Discord circles trying to not vouch for DSP per se, but he was trying to... I want to tell you he was trying to establish some type of rapport for DSP in some way, shape, or form with other people. And they weren't going for it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Either they laughed him off, or they disregarded him, or they were like, who's that? And that in itself probably hurts even more than anything for DSP. For not that people laugh at him or mock him, not that people completely just hand wave him off, but who is that? That must hurt him more than anything. You know what I mean? Because all these other players and their names and their actions and achievements, if you will, have endured, and his didn't. But then again, he didn't do anything. That's the thing too that needs to be said. DSP didn't do anything. He didn't accomplish anything while he was in the FGC. So what is there to remember?
That's kind of what causes a midlife crisis.
Oh, and if you're new here and whatnot, and let me reestablish for some of y'all who have already been here, yes, there's a lot of tabs. Yes, I realize there's a lot of tabs. Don't judge me. Don't judge me. It hurts.
And that's when you hear, oh, the guy runs out and he frivolously spends crazy amounts of money to buy a fucking, sports car for himself in the middle of his life for no freaking reason.
Well, DSP don't really drive. He doesn't really know how to drive. That's why he gets in all he's gotten into all those accidents. So he spends all of his stuff internally, stuff that he can let accumulate and only he sees and he can basically worship and praise. It's literally like that scene from fucking Fight Club. The things you buy end up owning you. And DSP is the perfect example of that. That's why he's the perfect consumer.
You know what I mean? You gotta love people who are just mentally deficient, who say, "We'll play it off stream and then come back and play it on stream."
Yeah, I want you to see this because I want you to see how intellectually poor he is. Check this out.
When you're good at it, no, stupid. I just said I don't have time to do that. I work 6 days a week. I stream a ton. That's my job. I have no time off stream to be practicing with this thing. So it's either on stream or it doesn't happen. I literally just said that.
So he accuses all these people weekly, Raw Phil included, big ups. He accuses all these people of being cheaters and all this pattern play and all this bullshit. But then he's admitting that he doesn't grind off stream. But we know that's a lie because he teamed up with a Dent to go ahead and get some matches on stream to test out or to do something. So he's already lying there. So how is it that he expects to be as good as someone who plays at least somewhat regularly when this ass clown isn't willing to do it himself? And then, just to go back and show you how his poor thinking has got him to where he's at, this fucking mongoloid, this mental midget monkey, ain't sat there and bought the same game 3 times over 3 platforms, is in the process of buying a 3rd arcade stick for that. Damn near, well, it should be 4, but allegedly 1 was gifted to him. So this would be his 3rd. So now he's about to buy a 3rd arcade stick, but he has no time to practice any of this shit offline. He has to do it online so he can be exploited, so he can be mocked, so he can be laughed at. And then he has the nerve to say all of this bullshit about the FGC and then wonder why they won't acknowledge anything that he says, or none of them will stand up for him. You see what I'm saying? Crazy shit.
Okay. So that's the decision that we have to make. So some people are saying, yes, it would be cool to do this. Other people are saying, no, it would not be. And you see, this is where, I don't know, this is where it gets dicey. I'll be honest with you. Here's the worst case scenario for me. I buy it. I get it. We do our stream. Everyone complains this is boring. Why did you commit to this? Why are you doing this on stream? Well,
now keep in mind, this ignorant piece of shit already has the solution to get past this, right? To completely sidestep this particular problem, but he won't do it. Just out of sheer laziness and incompetence, he won't do it. Even though my personal theory, I'm pretty sure that video's out, but my personal theory is he is going to actually test that shit out beforehand. And because he doesn't want to look like a complete and fucking utter ignorant piece of shit when he does it. You know what I'm saying? He needs people to try to buy in to the struggle, if you will. He needs the people to buy into the melodrama that he's trying to build up. And he's gambling on a losing bet. That's literally what he's doing. He's about to go ahead and bet everything on red when he should just bet on black. Like Cat does.
Because I do everything on stream. I don't game off stream. I don't have time to game off stream. Okay? I got a light. I'm married. I don't play games off stream ever. Everything that I do at game.
I mean, you're sitting there playing house with someone who doesn't love you and you don't love them. If that's not a game, I don't know what is. If anything, that's probably the worst type of game because you guys are literally wasting each other's time. That's literally the sad part of it. Despite the fact that they do need each other, you know what I'm saying, for obvious reasons, they're literally wasting each other's time. That's kind of sad, actually.
Is on stream. So if we're going to do this, this is an investment for the streams, and we have to do it together live on stream. If the answer is, well, we don't want that, then it's not worth it. Forget it. I'll just continue to use regular joysticks then.
I mean, you're failing at that already, too. So what would make you think going to a leverless stick would work?
Do you see a difference?
Okay, this is what we're going getting at now. This is where DSP's poor performance comes into play. This is where DSP really is poor. Now, it feeds into the financial aspect of it and why he's broke, but I want to concentrate in particular on why he's poor. Here we go. Matter of fact, let's bring it full screen. let's bring it in full screen for you. Let's go ahead and do that. Yeah, there you go. Failure incarnate. Gotta love it. See, that should be his jerk off face. That would have been funny as hell. That'd have been funny as hell. Shit. Beating his dick like fucking Only Iced Coffee owes him money or some shit. Mega Man's holding that charge like he's anticipating the fucking burst. That's funny.
Do you see a difference? Do you see something that's kind of upsetting? Okay? Now you might say, well, this is 11 days ago, Phil. You're right. But on day one, when I played Resident Evil Requiem, okay, and I put out these first 5 videos, because this is what I did day one for the game. By the end of day one, part 1 had over 2,000, almost 3,000 views. And then it just grew from there. Okay? The fact that I played Slay the Spire 2 within just a few days of its release, the game is virally popular, bringing in around 500,000 players at peak every day. Everyone's playing it. Everyone's talking about it. Everyone's hyped for it. I played it, and guess what? I didn't suck. You see these 3 videos? I'm still going on my first run. I haven't died yet. I actually beat everything I came across.
So because he hasn't died yet, he hasn't rage quit. Therefore, that makes the game or the playthrough good. Why is he not getting the views? What kind of logic is that? Whatever.
Cross learning on the fly, having nail-biting situations.
See how he wants you to beg. He wants you to buy into the melodrama. You know what I'm saying? He says that people like him and they like him for him, and by proxy they like his content and this, that, and the third. But that's not true, because if it was, then why do you need to portray yourself in some way? Almost like the underdog thing, but it's not, because that's already dead and gone before he shot that shit out back behind the barn and gave him an old yellow treatment. Why is it that you need to basically fake all of this false melodrama to get people, to get them attracted to the bullshit and then stay there? Like, why is that? Like, natural struggle is usually enough. If people really want to see you endure, then they'll stick around. If they don't, then they don't. And the fact that he's playing the quote-unquote hot new releases and no one's sticking around, and actually it's even worse than that, no one's actually watching, that's a you problem. That's a problem that you caused. And he probably caused it years ago, and he never rectified it. Oh, my bad. There we go.
Where I fought enemies and survived with 1 HP. This is a good run. And I can't wait to continue this on Friday. But no one's watching it.
Sucks to suck. Look how hurt he is. Look how hurt he is. Oh, shit. Oh, poor baby. Oh.
The stream viewers are watching it. The stream was there. There was great attendance, great engagement, great support.
No one will know because the stream archive isn't up. So you got no proof of that. And it doesn't matter because Raw Phil had better views than him anyway. Raw Phil always has better views than him. So holy shit. So it really don't matter.
Why is no one watching it? It's one of the most popular games out right now.
If you have to ask those type of questions, then you are poor. You are incredibly poor if you have to ask questions like this. His supposed 18 years in the trenches, right? Doing content. And you got that face asking you, why won't you watch my content? That's why he's poor, ladies and gentlemen. That's exactly why he's poor. And why he's broke too, but we're focusing on the poor part today.
And no one is watching it on my channel. Okay? Let's talk about this.
Milk that fucking gravy train for as much money as you possibly can.
Instead, we have to strive to find that niche, that little corner, that little group that we can entertain and have.
That we can what? No, let's bring that back.
That fucking gravy train for as much money as you possibly can.
Instead, we have to strive to find that niche, that little corner, that little group that we can entertain and have a good time with.
He wanted to say that little niche, that little group, that little demographic they could take advantage of. That's what he wanted to say. He caught himself, but that's what he wanted to say. And yet again, that feeds into his mindset. That's why DSP, believe it or not, he doesn't want big numbers on his streams. He really don't. He wants over like 400 or 500, right? So it doesn't make him look like a complete, total fucking loser. But the reality is, he wants his demographic, at least on stream, to be incredibly small, incredibly tight. Not sure if like cat tight, but incredibly tight, and easy to manage. Because if they're easy to manage, they're easy to manipulate, so on and so forth. Now, those who hit the YouTube videos later, fine, whatever. But he needs that core group that's on stream to be incredibly small. You know what I'm saying? It's the only way that he's going to feel like he has control and he can maintain it. That right there in itself is just poor judgment. And yet again, that comes from incredibly poor social skills. Because the more people he has on stream, the more nervous he gets. Even when he's being botted, it still makes him nervous. It still makes him fearful that there's a bunch of people that are mocking him, or a bunch of people that are restreaming him, watching him getting mocked to even a larger audience. So make of that what you will. Shit. What a crooked little mouth. Damn. How far did I jump ahead? Hold on a second. Jesus Christ. Give me just a second. Okay, we're back. I went way too fucking far. I had to move my buttons around a little bit. We're good now.
Instead, we have to strive to find that niche, that little corner, that little group that we can entertain and have a good time with every day. And that's what we got to focus on. Providing maximum value and entertainment for those who like us. Not trying to appeal to the masses, because guess what?
So it's not about being entertained. Look at how crooked his fucking mouth is, though. Holy shit. Anyway, so it's not about putting out entertaining content. It's about convincing people that already like you to basically bleed their pockets. All right, fair enough.
I'm never going to appeal to the masses.
And why is that? That you can't tell me. This is a... Yo, that stroke must have hit him crazy. That stroke... Well, it must have been more than one. He's had to have more than one stroke. And he just never went to get checked out. Which is unfortunate. Because the big one will eventually happen. Or he did, and that's why he's systematically starving himself. One of the two, but that's not good. Jesus Christ, Phil. And see a dentist. You really should.
The masses are brainwashed against me, thinking that I'm some kind of a jackass.
You very much are a jackass.
Who isn't good at games.
You're not.
Who just sits here begging for money all day.
That's what you do.
They all believe that.
It's true. It's damn true.
Because they don't watch the content.
Well, who has time to go through the slop? It's still slop, no matter how you look at it.
They just watch the highlight clip because they're ignorant. The masses are ignorant.
How do you figure? This is about convenience. The highlights are entertaining. Watching the slop in its whole is not. That's simple mathematics.
Okay? You're never going to please everyone. But what you can do...
Yeah, you can't please anybody, not even your own wife. Fucking A, you couldn't please your fucking underage girlfriend before her. And there was never a woman before that. Hence the reason why I say that Panda was his first. And I'm pretty confident that she was. Panda was the one who broke him in and whatnot. And as the years have gone on, it's become more and more telling.
Is find those people who are willing to give you a chance, who are willing to see the real you, to actually watch the content you put out. And if they actually like it, focus on them, make them happy, success. That's how I'm crushing it right now.
I'm already DSP cult leader. I know all about it. I cast the pignosis on everyone out there. to make you magically do what I say, right? Like I'm a crazy, I have these weird voodoo powers that can control everyone watching.
Look at this fucking pedophile. Jesus Christ. Holy shit. Boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. If you were in the Smash community or in the Minecraft community or in a demographic of the Minecraft community or even Roblox, you'd be a pedo. I mean, you are a pedo, but you would definitely be labeled as a pedo and there wouldn't be any pushback if that was the case.
This video
Fucking A.
and make you do awful things.
Exactly right. That's exactly how I'm successful right now. And that's what I have to keep doing. So, if I play Slay the Spire 2 and we're getting people on the stream and the people are having a great time and they're supporting the stream, then I'm going to keep playing it. I don't care that the video...
So you're poor. You're literally poor because if... You're literally poor. Holy shit. He's a whore. Not only is he poor, but he's a whore. Everything he does is dictated by what someone else is willing to pay for. And that's it. That's not what streaming is. And that's not what successful streamers do. They didn't build up audiences to treat them like a fucking ATM and shit. Or vice versa. Fucking A, Phil.
Video's got 300 views on them. Fuck it. Let the masses go watch the fucking guy who looks like a cartoon dancing around acting like a fool, and then they go to X and they laugh at a fucking dumb meme about me, and then they go to Reddit and little drool comes down their mouth, and then they start typing on Reddit and they look at the new news. Oh, this is what I'm supposed to think is news today because it's on Reddit. And then they go to Instagram and they watch some fucking influencer sell them product and they give money to an influencer, right? And then they go to fucking TikTok and they do a TikTok dance. These people are fucking monkeys.
That's like me, right? That's like me. I look like a complete fucking idiot.
Oh, shit. I miss those days. Fucking Mr. Potato Head wrapped up in aluminum foil. Fucking A, man. Those are some funny days. Holy shit. Made a lot of money off that vest, though. I don't give a fuck what nobody say. There's no point in going back and doing it now, but one day someone will do it. If someone went back and actually took a tally on what vest was the most profitable, it'll be this one. Even over the tan one, the original one that he had, that right there will be the most profitable vest. And he knows it, but he didn't like it. He didn't like the fact that he was being mocked relentlessly when he put that damn thing on. Holy shit, but it made so much money. And yet again, that's when I started to formulate the theory, or my thesis, on he would put his ego before money. And the vest streak, or there's examples within the vest streak, I should say, that prove it. Lock, stock, and trade.
I mean, seriously, I look so stupid. I look like a complete embarrassed idiot right now. I look like Porky Pig.
No one should care about them. There's millions and millions of them. They mean nothing. What I care about is the intelligent people who are watching me and actually care about me and want to be here every day to have a good time. People who have a few brain cells that fire every day and they feel like using their heads rather than just being a fucking automaton in a big construct that's just there to pump money out of them. You see? Smart people. That's the kind of people that I like spending time with. There just aren't a lot of them these days. Okay?
That's not even his own thought. That's actually taken from LTG.
So, for the smart people who actually like content for what it is, come on by and enjoy Slay the Spire 2 later in the week. There probably won't be a lot of us, to be frank with you. And certainly it's not going to be a mainstream appealing game like Resident Evil Requiem was. But I think we're still going to have a good time with it. And I'm going to continue to try to entertain that audience that's going to allow me to be successful. Okay?
Oh my god, he's drinking gin. Yes.
Massive Coke sip. Massive.
Ladies and gentlemen, I received...
I don't know about this. We're about to actually punch out of this, but I don't know about this fake tip thing. I do know, well, I don't know, but I surmise that DSP had a bit of a blow up yesterday, I think it was, over this $500 tip he got like the week before. I think the last time I streamed, someone mentioned it. I missed what they had said. I saw it later on. But I hadn't actually seen that tip. I didn't know anything about it. But now that I've actually looked into it a little bit, and given his blow up that he had about it, it's clear that was charged back. It was very clear that it was charged back. When you're saying who gives a fuck, no one gives a shit. That's pretty telling. That's pretty telling that tip was faked. Not faked. It was a chargeback, I should say. So, yikes. Sucks to suck.
A $50 $1 tip.
From Anonymous?
Norexidev, he says, why would you say the R word? It's offensive.
Okay, I'm not worried about all that. Actually, no, here. Well, let's entertain this one more time, then we'll do it.
The word retarded is not offensive at all. You do realize the word has an actual meaning, right? It's not offensive in any way. It's a schoolyard word people said when I was 5 years old.
Isn't fucking retarded though actually fucking a banned word in his chat though? I think regarded, well, don't quote me on the regarded one. I think retarded though was actually banned in his chat. I'm not sure about regarded though. And I'm sure someone will test it.
Society is so dumb that they take things that mean absolutely nothing and they turn them into words of power for no reason. It's
Now keep in mind, it's the same guy who gets offensive and says that you're mocking him and his disability if you laugh at him because he has gout. Keep that in mind. Keep that in Jesus Christ, Phil. Look at this. It's not normal, sir.
not even offensive. It's not. It's time to stop being stupid and so sensitive. There's nothing wrong with the word. It has a meaning. No, it's not offensive. It's really not. Like, I'm telling you straight up, the word is not offensive.
Yikes.
Idiot, really like, sensitive snowflake people made it offensive, so they had something else to complain about. There's nothing wrong with the word. Okay? Nothing. Again, when I was in school, elementary school, children said it to each other all the time.
He's changed his story a little bit, and well, slightly. He has said this before, but he actually said in one of the original times that he talked about it, that kids in school used to call him retarded. He's changed that. Now he's saying that they just flinged it at each other, which they probably did, but they used to call him that too.
What's next? Is the word dork going to be offensive too? I guess so, because it's just about the same level, okay? Anyway.
Cope
Oh my God, he's drinking gin. Gin is great. I didn't censor that word on Kick. That Kick has like
Oh, so I was right.
a listing of words it auto censors if you turn on the auto censor, and that's why that's censored.
Well, that's why you have the auto censor on, so you didn't have to do it yourself. So yeah, you did go ahead and you are the one who did it, dumbass. Hear him out. Like, listen to what he said.
I didn't censor that word on Kick. That Kick has like a listing of words it auto censors if you turn on the auto censor, and that's why that's censored. I haven't censored the word particularly.
But you did turn on the auto censor so it would get rid of it. And he did that because he knew that there had to been an accumulation or a collection of words that was going to fall into it. He knew retard would fall into it. Fucking dumb. All right, I've seen enough of this. I've seen enough. Holy shit. Big ups to Burnell. Big ups to Burnell. One of my goats. Okay. So, let's go ahead and put that there. All right, let's bring y'all back in. Okay. And we back. So, actually, hold on a second. All right, so, yet again, just another example of DSP being poor socially, his bad decision making and everything kind of coming back and accumulating on him in all these interesting ways. And let me actually kind of revel in that for a bit. Imagine you being absolutely hated, demised, or hated, mocked, or people willing to diminish you as a person and also your image in almost every community that you've ever been. Think about that. Almost every friend, quote unquote, or associate that DSP has ever had almost have either teetered on turning against them or has turned against him at one time or another. He doesn't have a friend in sight. Wings don't either. LTG is questionable and Rich definitely probably don't. That's amazing. DSP does not have one person he can go to and talk to as a genuine person. Like his genuine thoughts, fears, and all of that. He has none of that. Not even Cat. If that right there in itself isn't being poor, I don't know what is. How is it that you've left this negative mark everywhere that you go? And then any community that you tried or that he tries to break into, they're already anticipating the bullshit before he even shows up. How does that happen? And it didn't happen for no reason. It obviously happened for a reason. It's just, I don't really understand at times how. That's how DSP is poor. He's poor in all the ways that most normal people aren't. There are plenty of people who pursued some type of career online and didn't end up the way he did. Yeah, you gain friends, you lose friends, so on and so forth. That happens. You know what I'm saying? And same thing with IRL. But to lose everybody, DSP lost IRL friends and he lost acquaintances and associates when he got online. Every person that will almost, the majority of people that he's beef with have felt some sympathy for him to try to help him later, and DSP still spat that shit in their face at one time or another. How do you do that? You know what I mean? So that right there in itself is what I mean by DSP being poor and whatnot. Like, you know what I'm saying? Not just socially, but just his social capital, his social ability to interact with people. Like, he's a poor person in that he has nothing and he has no one. He goes on day to day knowing that damn near everybody hates him and he has to deal with it. He has to make excuses for it. He has to try to mock other people to make himself feel better. Though at the end of the night, he's drinking himself to sleep because he's got no one. He knows that there's a bunch of people out there headhunting for him and he can't make them stop. He can't reason with them. They don't trust him. No one does. Even the people who, quote unquote, barely know him know enough to be like, Phil Burnell's a liar. Don't ever believe anything that he says. Darkside Phil's a con man. He'll take advantage of you the first chance he gets. DSP is a piece of shit and he'll never appreciate anything that you give him. And Dark Geppetto defends pedophiles, has groomed, and may very well be a pedophile in himself. You know how fucking crazy that is to have that on you? And you'll never be able to wash that shit off. Yikes. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for listening in. I very much appreciate it. I'll catch you guys for the next one of these. This has been, I'll name this segment later, GTG Spits That Grease, so on and so forth. The Snort Symposium and whatnot. Big ups to Master Sparksies. Take care of yourselves, people. Just take care of yourselves. And like I said, the next video I'll do is about how DSP's broke. And then we get into the real laughs of it all. Then we get into the real funnies. Take care of yourselves, people. Later.